Hi, BizHack. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a brief tour of Business Manager and some of the key features within the application that you'll be utilizing throughout the term. So let's begin. Let's begin by clicking on the hamburger menu in the top left-hand corner, and then scrolling down to All Tools. The very first menu I'd like to share with you guys is the Audiences menu, which can be found under the Assets column. And then it's the first link right under that, Audiences. So I won't jump into too much detail now because a lot of this won't make sense just yet. But Audiences is where this is the part of Business Manager where you're going to be able to find audiences that you've either saved. So you created an audience while building a campaign, and you know and you foresee that to be an audience that you're going to be utilizing often. So you do have the ability to save it so that you can then use that audience again later on down the road, rather than have to build it all over again or time and time again whenever you run whenever you run a campaign for that intended target audience. Another feature that you use here and that you'll be learning in the very near future is how to upload an existing contact list. So if you have a spreadsheet of contacts or email list subscribers, you'll be able to upload that into Facebook and create them as a target audience for campaigns. And then, by and large, one of the most powerful tools that Facebook offers is the ability to create a lookalike audience. So if you, for example, upload a subscriber list of people who subscribe to your email newsletter, for example, or you'll be able to create a lookalike audience from that list. And Facebook is going to go out and find more people that share similar attributes and characteristics to those people that are on your list. So very, very powerful tool. The audiences menu is where you would be able to find the library of all those audiences that you've created throughout all your campaigns. Another menu I'd like to share with you guys, which you can start looking at already, is the Pixels menu. So right under Measure and Report, you have the Pixels option. Under Pixels, you're going to be able to see, this is where you can see all the data that your pixel on your website is reporting back. So I'm going to just quickly run through one of the best features from this menu, which is going to teach you what what pages on your website people are visiting the most. So yours may not look like this. The reason mine looks like this is because I manage several ad accounts. So you'll likely just have one row of data like this. Now, but you should all see the details button. So if you click on the details button, this is where you'll be able to take a slightly deeper dive into your Pixels activity. And what I want to show you is if you scroll down towards the bottom of the page, there's this drop menu right here called Events. If you change that to URLs, then this is a pretty cool feature, because now you're going to see all of the pages that the Pixel is telling us are the most visited pages on your website. So more often than not, your home page is going to be the first one on the list. But after that, then it's where it becomes really insightful. So you'll see how many hits the page has had. So these numbers represent hits. They do not represent unique users, meaning one person may have visited the same page several times throughout their session. Each one of those instances created a hit, which was added and each one of those visits or hits were added and included in this number. So again, this does not mean that 3,900 unique website visitors visited this page. This number represents hits. So several hits could have been made by the same visitor. But nonetheless, it's still some very valuable insights. It'll definitely give you a pretty good bird's eye view of what are some of the most popular pages on your website. All right, so I'm going to go back to the hamburger menu in the top left-hand corner. Let me also show you where to change or adjust your billing. So under the settings column, you can come to billing. And it sounds pretty straightforward, right? This is where you will be able to add or remove payment options, add or remove credit or debit cards, which are going to be charged or used to pay for your Facebook ad campaigns. But in addition to that, so if you click on payment settings, just want to share one additional feature, which some of you might find very helpful, and that is a campaign budgeting feature. So this is taking a little while to load. You can set an account spending limit down here. So this is a very, very useful tool if you're trying to keep a close eye on your marketing budget. So if you have a budget or an amount that you should not surpass on a monthly basis or however long, you can set that limit right down here. So this example that we're looking at right here, this is an account in which their marketing budget for the month is $4,000. So I set an account spending limit so that we do not surpass that amount. And what happens is after you've reached that amount, Facebook will stop running your ads. So again, it becomes a very useful tool because it really, really helps you from overspending and staying within that allotted budget. So here is the card associated to your payment methods, and then this will always show you the amount due and when it's going to be billed by Facebook. But you do not have to wait until that date. You can always take a head start and just pay it now whenever you like. The last menu I'll show you is Creative Hub right over here under Plan. Creative Hub is an excellent tool where you can create mockups and practice building ads. But one of the most important key features from this tool is that you will be able to see if Facebook is going to flag any of the images or videos that you use. So if you go to create mockup here on the far right, and let's create just a single image Facebook ad. And Facebook can flag your image for a number of reasons. Maybe photos can't be too racy or sexually suggestive, or they cannot show alcohol or drugs, or the list kind of goes on and on. In addition to that, in addition to those that I just mentioned, which would go against Facebook advertising policies, there are just some general rules that Facebook wants you to follow that you have to meet in order for them to publish your ad. One of which is the 20% rule. And the 20% rule states that the image that you use for the ad, no more than 20% of the ad's real estate can contain text. So what they're trying to avoid is for there to be just really text heavy images where it's just nothing but text or words. They really want your ad instead to be something very visual and engaging, and really limit how much text you can put. So you can test whether or not your picture meets the 20% rule. So let me quickly show you how. So if I'm going to just kind of, this is the text that appears above your ad. So you're going to see that start to populate right up here. And if we select an image, So I'm just going to use a stock photo of a dog. All right, so if I select this guy here, now you see that it's been added. And right here under tools, you see image text check. So this image clearly has no text. I mean, it has some watermarks there. So if I do image text check, let's say yes, save. Okay, ran into a problem here. Oh, they want us to add a link. Okay. Just gonna make one up and we'll try that again. Right, so let's conduct another text check. So image text check, save. Okay, this is taking just a little longer than anticipated. There we go. So there we get the results of the text check. So it's going to tell us whether the image was okay. So for whatever reason, the application is acting a little buggy right now, so it wasn't able to conduct it. But you can go to this menu. But what I really want you to see are the ratings right over here. So when you upload your image, Facebook's going to take a few seconds to kind of scan your photo, and then it'll tell you whether your image is okay and your ad will run normally, or whether you might encounter they might rate it either as text too high or medium or low. But if it falls under any one of these three categories, your ad might be penalized and may not be seen by as many people as it potentially could, or it may not run at all. So test your photos if you suspect that it might have or it might contain too much text. And all right, so that concludes the tour of Business Manager. So again, just to quickly recap, we took a tour of the pixels and all the different and how we could see what pages on our websites are getting the most hits. We talked about audiences, and which is where they store the library of all the audiences that you have saved. We spoke about billing, where you can associate your credit or debit card and also set account spending limits. And then the last thing we covered was Creative Hub, where you can practice making ads, create mock-ups, get a feel for what your ads will look like, and you also can run some text checks and see if your ad, if it contains text, complies with the 20% rule. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.